Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our wonderful podcast right here. My name is Tia, and this is Enabled by Tech. And I'm always going to do this with the one, the only.
Ben,
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. Yourself?
Excited? All right, so getting straight into the conversation. Now, I want you guys to picture this, all right? You are a student on the University of Ghana Campus Legal. And it's that time you're about to write your exams. So there are a bunch of stuff that you have to do, including pay the arrears of your school fees, else you will not write your exam. So what do? You have to go to a bank, right? Now you have to request for probably a ride-sharing platform, maybe Uber or Bolt or Yang or whatever it is you use. The driver comes, picks you up, gets to the destination, you want to make payment via mobile money, and he doesn't accept it. Inconvenience. Now, already you should think about the fact that having to go all the way to the bank to make payments for your school fees, inconvenience. How are we able to live life these days, especially with the emergence and evolution of technology, with our financial transactions? Everything should be seamless and easy on the phone. You should be able to make quick payments on your phone. Businesses should be able to accept payments virtually. You shouldn't have to even hold physical cash anymore. Yeah. And we have situations where these days the governments are trying to empower people to go cashless. There are a bunch of policies and systems that are trying to put in place. We're going to get into all of that. I guess you know where we're going. Today, we're going to be talking about the financial technology industry. Fintech. And I have with me Sarso. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very, very well. By God's grace.
So just for people to connect with you and understand where you, when you tell us about Fintech, can you give us a little bit about your background and what you do?
Well, I started as a software engineer.
Okay.
Working on a lot of, traditional applications. And I'm using the word traditional here for a sense you get to understand very soon.
Okay.
And then...
Suspense, I like that already.
Yeah, definitely. And over time, I transitioned into, blockchain. That's why I use the word traditional. Right. So I started helping, a lot of people transition their applications or their platforms from the normal, day-to-day Web2 experience that you have. And I'm referring to the normal internet that everybody knows, like Facebook, Twitter. That's what we term as Web 2, right? And so we started helping people on board and move their traditional internet-based applications to the blockchain. Right. So basically, that's the journey I've been on for quite some time now.
And what would you say the experience has been, especially maybe learning and growing in an industry where people are still adjusting to accepting technology in their day-to-day activities?
Well, I think it's been quite interesting and fascinating at the same time.
Right.
Sometimes you see the challenges that we face, largely inertia. People are not really willing to change on our side of the world. Right. Interestingly, there are other countries where they are sort of pro-change. They hear the new thing. Oh, what's that? Oh, child, then they just jump
like
on.
Rwanda.
Yeah, Rwanda, for instance. You see the way they've transformed their governance.
Yeah.
Is purely tech-enabled, right? There are people like Nigeria who are also open to new stuff, except that, there is also a lot of gatekeepers there. So things don't move that smoothly. But generally, inertia has been the biggest challenge for us, trying to get people to, adopt, especially onto the blockchain, and then other fintech, environments. So, yeah.
And what would you say the major difference is for the Web 2 based platforms and Web 3? Because you'd say Facebook, then you mentioned blockchain. What blockchain? Sorry.
Yeah.
What is the major difference?
So the major difference is purely in terms of philosophy. Let me take it from there. Let me use the word philosophy, or the way you think about technology, and then especially finance. So let's take it from the traditional finance side. Traditional finance, things like your physical money that you transact with, we call it fiat, your fiat money, and then for you to get a service, you largely have to present the physical money or the physical cash to somebody. That's where we came from, right? In fact, if I take you back a bit, to the early days of fiat money, initially there wasn't anything like banks or government issued fiat money like Ghana cedis, especially starting from the United States in America. Actually, it was individuals who were actually printing their own money.
Right.
Okay.
So, for instance, I have a goods that I want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I have some gold that I want to sell. You can go and put that gold in the bank or a certain repository, and then they will give you money, some sort of paper certificates, right? They'll give it to you, and then I'll come to you, and then we'll do the negotiations. So after having the negotiations and agreeing on what you're also going to give to me in order for my gold, I'll give you that paper, right? I give that paper to you, and then you go to the bank, and because the bank, you have the papers corresponding to the gold in the vaults, they'll give you the gold.
So it's like an IOU.
Yeah, it's more of barter trade with some sort of layer.
Right.
All right.
Got
Yeah.
you. Got
That's where money started from. Okay, that's where the traditional finance started from. And then government came in with policies, regulations, and things and standards, and it really helped. It did help. So once we had those things coming forward, internet came, and then a whole new sort of revolution started, where people started trying to first of all have some text on the internet where you could go and read, and then we moved from there to higher applications of the internet, where you could have messaging, where you could have websites that people can interact with, and then where you could now sell. Amazon, AliExpress, Alibaba, they're all there, right? Gigi, exactly. Yeah. Let's talk about our guys. Gigi, yeah. So basically, if you look at the trajectory of everything was okay. Everything was running manually until the advent of the internet. And when the internet came, it came as a disruptor, disrupting every single industry you can think about. So everything that you do manually here, first of all, you are limited by your geographical space. Sometimes not even the region itself, but then your ability to how far you can go.
Right.
How far can you go?
Right.
So if you are selling bread on your head, how far can you hog that bread?
Okay. So let's understand something so that we can know exactly what we are referring to when we talk about certain things. What is the scope of the financial technology industry? What falls under that scope?
Okay, so financial technology, I see it as an infrastructure.
Right.
There are a lot of things that come into play. I mean, when you sit here and you send your mobile money, it's for you on your end, it's just like, oh, I've just sent money to another wallet.
Right.
But for us on the other side, we the developers, businesses that actually enable
it's a bunch of lines of code,
a whole lot of stuff.
That's
And sometimes, one time I was talking to someone and I was like, look, it's one thing to have a product and it's another thing to have a business.
Right.
Because once you start to go into this fintech business, it's not just about writing the software. It's also about compliance. It's about policy. In Ghana, you have your policy. You go to Nigeria, the policy is turned upside down.
So you have
go to other countries. So that's why you see that there are certain fintech, let's say mobile money operates in Ghana, doesn't operate in Nigeria. There's a reason why it's not there. But then again,
they have their own systems.
They have their own system.
Yeah. Right.
They have their own policy. So fintech in every region, it's basically, you can see the same component. There are financial institutions, there are technology institutions, there are policy and regulators. That you bring these three guys together, and then you have this fintech environment created. Right.
Okay.
But each region there's a little bit of nuance here, differences here that you have to put together.
So basically, any financial transaction that's largely depends on technology.
Exactly.
It's fintech.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, can we talk about how mobile wallets work? Let's from the Apple Pay to PayPal to mobile money and all of that. First of all, if we can understand how it works, and maybe we get into detail and then understand why it's difficult for some people to accept it? Is it what's the issue with the transitioning into physical and traditional transactions to moving on to mobile wallets?
At Sumundi Dev Shop, we build custom software tailored to your needs, scalable, efficient, and designed for growth. Whether you need enterprise applications, management systems, or integrations with third-party platforms, we deliver solutions that work seamlessly. We also specialize in legacy software repairs, performance optimizations, and code-based improvements. Whether it's a simple website or a robust enterprise solution, we are your trusted technology partner. Let's build something great together. Contact us on our website at www.sumundidevshop.com.
Okay. So to answer your question, I'll go back a bit and still talk about the three components that usually are the basic, because I don't want to use jargons or any technical terms. So basically, for every financial infrastructure, financial tooling, tech-enabled financial service that you're experiencing,
Right.
there are basically about three players in there. There is the banking institution or the financial institutions.
Okay.
There is the the tech companies, and then there are regulators, right?
Okay.
So for you to be able to run some of these things, you need the financial institution to be there. If I'm a business and I want to enable this kind of online transactions, then there has to be a financial institution that I'm working with. And again, I'm also working with regulators, largely government agencies. So once these two components are in place, then I come in as a tech to connect the two and make it work. Now, on the issue of mobile wallets, it's largely like taking your fiat money. I'm going to use layman terms here. So you're taking your physical cash, and instead of putting it in a bank account that you have to walk to, you have to put it in a bank account through me.
Right.
Some way, somehow, right?
So it's in an account, but it's not in your account.
Yes. So it's an account that I'm abstracting. It's an account that I am sort of being an interface to for you.
Right.
So that you can easily move it.
Right.
You understand? So once we have it in that sense, that it's basically your physical money that you would have taken to a bank, but this time you are giving it to a tech company.
Right.
Right. You are giving it to a tech company so that they can help you, move it quite easily and faster. Now, the way fintech technology has become, even banks are into fintech now, right? So even though you have your normal bank,
It's mobile banking.
you still have access to mobile
banking,
banking,
right?
internet banking. You still have access to it.
But that goes directly into your account.
Yes,
There's
but
no third party.
there's no third party,
Right.
right? But that is still financial, enabled transactions.
Okay.
However, there is from the side point of policy, there is a lot. Remember that just a few weeks ago, what do you call it? These guys who helped to remit money into this country. There's this tap send. I think
Right.
tap send had an issue with regulators, and it says that the license we gave you was to help you to facilitate money remittances, but not to create wallets for people to deposit their money into it.
Right.
So I'm just taking it from the layman's perspective again, and just showing you the component. But once it comes to policy, it changes a whole. There are different things involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think a lot of businesses or vendors, let's drop it all the way down, because the people relate directly to vendors.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's very difficult for vendors like the Uber drivers or taxi drivers or the Kiliwili seller at the junction or the supermarkets? Why do some people refrain from accepting mobile money or virtual payments? Is it a security issue? Is it an education issue? What do you think? What's the problem?
It's actually a mixture. It's a mixture. It's not one thing. You can't say it's X or Y or Z and that's it. It's not. It's a mixture of all the problems that you just mentioned.
Right.
It's security and it's insecurity as well.
Yeah.
So security, well, if I put my money here, I have to keep track of a PIN. or I have to keep track of a password. Or I have
If
to
it's
keep
cash,
track.
I know the cash is under
Yes,
my
it's
bed.
there. So I've placed it under my pillow or
But
in the cabinet, and you flog
The
it.
rats too would do some side.
Yeah, I mean that is the disadvantage
Mhm.
of on the physical side, and then the disadvantage on the the fintech side. Two, it's inertia. They are slow to change. People are slow to change. People don't like to just change their lifestyle. Yeah, and so it's one of the problems, because even apart from businesses that have made a lot of efforts to help with the acceptance of financial technology, and then these mobile money systems, there is also the efforts from the government. Government came up with gifts which allowed interoperability between the networks, so you can send money from maybe Vodafone to MTN and everything. So there's a lot of effort that has been made, but one, inertia; two, insecurities; and three, security as well. The insecurity is with people who just feel like, I'm going to put my money on my mobile wallet. My child is tech savvy; he will steal my money. That's insecurity, right? And then besides that, there are also policy inhibitions. Some of the policies are not flexible for innovation in our side of the world. For innovation to thrive, there needs to be less regulations. Elon Musk has been saying this in the US, that he finds it difficult to understand that it's easy for them to build a whole, starship, and then a letter or a document hasn't moved from that
One
of the
office
regulators to
yeah,
another
and then
text.
they can't
Yeah.
take off. But don't you also think, because I think one of the biggest issues these days are the scammers.
Yeah.
I'll give an example, right?
Mhm.
I was on a production, and the production manager had to make a payment to a vendor that had provided some services for the production,
Mhm.
and he mentioned the number, mentioned the name, everything was exact,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but then the money went to someone. I don't know how
Yeah.
it was intercepted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have issues where people are there are people complaining a lot on
About
X
that,
these days,
especially when
know-
there's
right?
it's a big company and they can just take the name associated with the company and change a few characters to the name, and then they on the receiving end gets the money.
Or people call pretending to be a particular person,
Yeah.
and trying to get money, or even the issue with that happened with Pizza Man,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
someone registered their business on
Yeah.
Google. So if you Google, like they bought, I don't know, I think they either bought the SEO or
Mhm.
whatever it is. So you when you search for
DS come
Pizza
first.
Man.
there's come
stop.
first, and
Yeah.
then you call and they make the payment, and the order was never taken in. What how can we fix these security issues? Because if we are moving forward in this fintech space,
Mhm.
right, and it becomes necessary, and to some very extent, very soon, it's going to be the only way to push money around. Why should I not be worried and scared about the safety of my funds if I'm going to move it into one wallet or another or whatever it is?
Well, first of all, there needs to be a lot of education. People should be educated on how to manage their digital presence, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite important that people are able to manage their digital presence carefully and well. Then two, the other side will be on, as the side of businesses and companies that are developing these technologies. As we evolve, as we are trying to bring traditional systems onto the internet, the people that are trying to scam or the people that are trying to take advantage of others are also evolving, and they're
Yeah.
also coming online, right?
They're
You understand?
getting very smart.
They're getting very
incredibly smart.
yes.
Their,
I mean,
their grammar is better when they send you the fake text message.
Yeah, it's better than
It's better than before.
than
yeah.
before, way better than
yeah,
Yeah.
they're improving every day. They're
Yeah.
improving every day. And in fact, I remember one time I had cash. I was supposed to make payment to someone. I had finished calling the person. We spoke a few, like an hour later. Someone called me pretending to be that person. that I had already spoken
Yeah.
to. Yeah. So you realize that they are also sort of evolving and becoming better, and they are taking advantage of social engineering, and then using that technique to take advantage of people. Yes. So what we really need is a lot of education on how people should manage their digital presence, and then also a lot of tools and policy. Again,
Yes,
it comes
but
back to
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sensitization issue.
Yeah.
But I'm more concerned about the technology part. What security is being put to help? Do we have to start doing a two-fact system? Or do you understand?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What protection can we start putting in place to guarantee the safety? Because I understand. Because let's face it, the number of people that use mobile money these days, a lot.
Yeah.
So technically, we don't have a sensitization issue because people know they can move money around virtually with their wallets, but they're still worried because right now you go to make payment at like a vendor or something, and especially when it's a huge amount of money, they don't want to take it because they are worried that once you put it in, you might reverse it or do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm very much concerned about the technology part.
What
systems knowing the technology we have now with machine learning and AI and all these new tech whatevers that we have. What can we do from your point of view to help fix or even reduce the rate at which people get scammed?
Okay, so first of all, the reason why I started with people is because first of all, security is your first priority, right? Generally, it's my first priority. My safety and my security is my priority. Then the police. You understand? However, from a technical perspective, when I'm developing an application and when we are developing and designing stuff, usually, yes, we can tighten things up. However, it is a trade-off between convenience and security.
Let's set a scenario.
Yeah.
What will be your ideal, in your own words, tightening things up that would affect convenience, but security is
It's tight.
Yeah.
Give me an example of something that could be done.
Okay.
That will probably worry convenience,
Yeah.
but it will up security.
Security is assured.
Okay. So first things first. If you are going to, let me take it from normal things.
Right.
So for instance, if you are going to withdraw your money from mobile money account, you have to present your ID card.
Right.
Do you?
No.
We stopped a long time ago.
And once MTN started doing it, I for one, I was like, why should I give you my whole ID card just to withdraw money from my own account? You understand? But from a security perspective, I agree to that. Two, one other thing we can do on the technology side, and what we are doing is because we are running CryptoMomo, where we are making cryptocurrency as simple as mobile money. What we do is that instead of one PIN that you have with your mobile money, we are using two. Okay. So there's one to authenticate you and another one to approve a transaction. So two of them.
The second one is an OTP? Sort
of? Not an OTP. Okay. It's more of a passkey. Okay. In a natural sense, if you are using a physical, and a smartphone, I'll let you use your biometrics to actually approve the transaction. Right. So we can have that. An OTP, yes, you can use an OTP, but OTP is not as secured. Trust me, I'm telling you.
But with the two forms of how different are they though?
But also, OTPs are not that secure.
They're not that secure. Easily do man in the middle attack. Use SS7.
I'm enjoying this part. Yes,
I don't have to say these things out there, but then yeah. I mean, people intercept your calls. I can call you, and then someone will receive the call in another part of the world. These things are fairly. You need small money. You get $10,000.
So basically,
you have access to some of these things.
You're telling me that the OTPs my bank send me when I'm trying to approve a transaction is still not safe.
It's still not safe. And you'll be shocked.
And that is supposed to serve as the final barrier of the transaction. It's
still not safe. And you'll be shocked how easy it can be. I mean, you go to YouTube, you see some of these things.
Oh my God.
It's very easy. And you see, the tech, especially the tech space, you understand, we are trying. Everybody's trying to evolve. Okay. Everybody, new forms of, tools are coming. AI is coming in to help with fraudulent detection of, fraudulent transactions. trying to also observe people, their transactional behavior, and help to detect, money laundering and all those things. But people are getting smarter every day. I'm not saying this to discourage improvement. We are improving every day. It's the best that we can do at the moment. Yes.
So how then can we use AI to make this the infrastructure efficient and safe?
Okay, so we've started with AI. AI is still at its infancy, although we've made a lot of progress, right? It's still at its infancy. If I look at the tech stack, looking at it from a technical perspective, a technical eye, if you look at the tech stack, where you actually put AI would be before the transaction is, actually completed or committed. So when a transaction is done, the AI does the analysis, see the behavioral patterns of scams and frauds, money laundering, and if it detects any of them, it tries to, at least reports to another human agent that it flags this transaction. I think there's something wrong with this transaction. Can you look at it, right? And then another human agent actually cross-checks to make sure that the transaction is okay or not. So AIs can help policy direction. They can help agencies to make their work more efficient and faster. So, but then it doesn't take out everything. However, it's a good step. You understand? Yeah. It's a great step. It's a great initiative. And I think every company should be, imbibing and using these tools. And a lot of them are already using that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I want us to get into cryptocurrency. The whole conversation about decentralized currencies or blockchains, right? In the simplest of terms, and I'm saying this because people still don't get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand what a cryptocurrency is. They don't understand what the blockchain is. In the simplest of terms, what is blockchain and what is cryptocurrency and how do they relate to each other?
Okay, so I can give you a simple answer. I can give you a straightforward answer, and I can give you history. So
we get both,
so that you understand what I'm talking about. In fact, I've already spoken about a part of the history where people were issuing their own money on their own goods. So that money, let's say you have gold, you issue money on your own good, it wasn't called money per se, but some sort of paper document, and then people can go and take those goods back with the document. Fast forward, governments come inside and say that, okay, now we are going to issue money so that every trade will be uniform. Because think about it, you issue your money, I issue my money, he issues his money. There's an issue of trust, right?
Yeah. And even value.
Yes. So the government comes in and says that I will issue money to everybody so that we standardize trade. And it helped. It was really good. It was great. Fast forward, there was problems with this financial system. Of course, wherever there's human, there will always be, element of failures here, intentional corruption, and all this kind of stuff. And so the system wasn't efficient. Instead of promising, the government says that I promise you that this money will be valuable forever, or this money will be equal to, let's say, 1 bar of gold forever. And then after 10 years, they relent on their promise. And then we talk about Nixon, United States president, who depegged the dollar from the gold standard so that they could just print more money. What happened? Inflation. What happened? Debt. Right? So a bunch of people sat down and were like, no, yes, we agree that the government should issue money, but the government is not doing what it's supposed to do. The government is being is failing on the promises that they are guaranteeing us as citizens. And so now, instead of believing in people or believing in institutions to sort of apply the agreements that we have regarding money, we are going to run these sort of computer systems or codes, right, that will help us to guard our currencies. And then the best way to do that was to use cryptography, which is a form of mathematics. So they came up with these cryptographic systems and ways of securing finance, right? So you have cryptocurrency. Right. The crypto is a cryptographic sort of cryptography, and the currency, the normal money, So you put the two together, then you have cryptocurrency. Right. Currency that is secured by cryptography. That is what cryptocurrency is.
But how do they ensure that the code never changed though?
That I don't want to be technical again.
Please, if
need be.
if it requires for you to be technical,
Yeah,
please
if need
feel
be,
free.
feel
Good.
free.
So first of all,
see how you excite. Say good.
so first of all, cryptography is a sort of mathematics, right? That helps with encryption. Initially, it started with world wars, where people needed to sort of encrypt
History.
and decrypt information.
Yeah.
So you are Germany, I'm the United States, this is England. I want to send message to England without you knowing what it is. So I come up with a sort of code way, and I send the message in a coded way, so that when I send it to him, he can.
So it leaves me encrypted and gets to him, and he has to decrypt it.
Decrypt it.
Right.
Yeah, he has the keys
The keys to decrypt
to
it.
decrypt it.
Right.
So I can get a message.
But you can't make.
I can use
It'll be jumbled.
it's jumbled
You
message,
can't make
right?
any sense out of it.
Exactly. So this whole field came up, cryptography. It was really helpful for a lot of wars. Alan Turing, for instance, played a key role in it for the West and especially
not
England.
to cut you off for debate, but is that the same, or is that a similar technology to end-to-end encryption?
Yeah, it's a similar technology.
Right. Okay.
Cryptography is the larger branch. What end-to-end encryption you're talking about? AES, which is sort of to be able to encrypt and decrypt. However, we have another part which is called hashing, which helps in how we do not, sort of change the code after you deploy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So once in our world as sort of blockchain developers, once you write these codes and then you submit them to the blockchain, you cannot change it because of the underlying technology.
All right.
Part being cryptography, part being the distributed nature,
So that ensures the
and the
security.
consensus mechanisms.
Yeah,
Right.
so that totally ensures the security.
That
of
ensures the security. Yeah.
it. Sure. Makes sense.
That,
Sure.
that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
So if you are struggling to get cryptocurrency, it's purely money that is backed by cryptography.
Okay,
That's all.
so how does that relate to the blockchain now?
Yeah.
What's the linkage?
So blockchain is a technology,
Okay.
and then cryptocurrency is sort of the byproduct of it,
Okay.
right? And then the currency is what powers the blockchain,
Okay.
in the sense that in the blockchain is like your normal. If you go to shop and then you are keeping track of daily inventory. Someone came to buy pen, you write it down. Someone came to buy a book, you write it down. The blockchain is simply doing the same thing.
Right.
However, it's doing it in a decentralized way.
Right.
And it's recording this instead of you, when you go to the shop, you record it line by line. Instead, the blockchain records it block by block.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this is me just trying to piece together everything you've said and stuff that I know. So how then do they say cryptocurrency transactions are untrackable if it's
If the chains
if
are
the chains
linked.
are linked? Because I read somewhere that it's one of the most secure forms of payment. Governments can track whatever the
It's in
history of the
context.
transactions or whatnot.
It's in context.
Okay, so break it down for
It's
me.
in context. In fact, cryptocurrency is meant for three things: trackability, transparency. Yes.
Right. So
If you are using cryptocurrency, you are supposed to be tracked.
okay.
You can't send fraudulent money over cryptocurrency. Well, you can't, but
much
technically,
harder
the
there.
ideology, the philosophy behind the system is transparency
Okay. So
Okay.
and
it's-
privacy at the same
so
time.
trackability,
Yes.
transparency, and
privacy, security.
security.
Yes.
So that's 4.
Yes.
Okay.
So when people say that you can't be tracked, it means that the blockchain allows anonymity, right?
Right.
So if you go to the banking system, you have your name, everything there, blah blah
Okay.
blah there.
Okay.
On the blockchain, your name is not there. It is rather an address.
But I recently created a Binance account.
Yes.
Right. They asked for my government ID.
It's because they are providing you with a financial service. And you are working with a centralized system. In blockchain, we have decentralized systems who will not ask you for anything.
Yes, but if I make transactions, crypto transactions in my Binance account,
Yes.
isn't there a way to link the fact that
This address is
chain
linked
of
to this profile.
transactions is linked to this account and this is the person's government?
No.
How? So-
However,
How so? Let me explain to me how. Because
Okay.
it's right there.
It's right there.
If you have my, it's all about data, right?
Yes.
It is.
So you have my data. I have to scan my government card and do like this.
Yes.
Hold the card next to my face to be
verified,
authenticated
yeah.
and
Yes.
verified
Yeah.
for the platform.
Yes.
Before I can make any transactions,
Exactly.
crypto or not.
Yes.
So how sure am I that the crypto transactions I am making will still not be linked back to my
that profile.
account that has been authenticated by my government ID?
Good. So you
Me.
trust Binance so much
Uh-huh.
that you decided to give them your information.
Right.
So here, you are not trusting the blockchain. You are trusting Binance
Right.
as a company.
Okay.
Binance, on the other hand, is enabling you to perform these transactions on the blockchain.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
However, the transaction that Binance executes on your behalf
Mhm.
is not with your ID card. It's with your blockchain address.
Right.
You understand? And then one thing that you also have to understand about Binance is that it's centralized, yes. It's a central system, yes. And two, it is also non-custodial. The actual wallet that is
What
making
does
the
that mean for when you say it's non?
that means that you don't control the actual wallet that is performing the blockchain transactions.
You just
and this
issue the
being
command.
Yes, so you send the command to Binance.
Right.
I want to send 100 USDT or
Okay.
100 USDC.
Okay.
And then Binance will take 100 USDC and send it using an actual blockchain wallet, which has nothing to do with your ID card.
So
and everything.
so does that mean my wallet is bogus?
It's not bogus. It helps you. We have that technology there because it helps newbies to just onboard easily and use the blockchain. But someone like me, I wouldn't go. I use Binance. I have access to Binance.
Okay.
I only use it for some few transactions here
Mhm.
and there. But they are largely,
Mhm.
if I want to do stuff, I still have my normal, cryptocurrency wallet,
Mhm.
which is a custodial wallet, which I control.
So how does one go about getting that or creating that?
It's a bit of nerdy.
Please let's nerd out. Let's
It's a bit of
Let's hear it.
nerdy.
Let's net out.
So, if it is so difficult to introduce people to blockchain using this kind of technologies.
And I think that is why it's difficult for people to even understand and accept
Exactly.
the usage.
I agree with you.
Do you understand?
100%,
Because
100%.
I, for instance, I would want to do it the hardcore way,
Yeah,
but I still don't know how to.
yeah.
I want to get to a point where I can set up a little mining facility in my room and
You're
mine
too
my own.
late. You're too late.
You see, exactly. I don't know how to. I tried learning it and
it's still a bit it's difficult, yeah.
it's too long. Like
Yeah.
the people online will not give you the direct information.
Yeah.
They'll go and stop somewhere and there's a gate, pay and
Yeah,
do you understand? How do you get there? And how do I set up my mining my mining facility? in my
So
room?
we
mining they need me wa.
So yeah, we understand this sort of hassle and then sort of problems. That's why I'm building a company called CryptoMomo.
Okay.
Helps you to transact, deal with crypto as if you are using your normal mobile money. So
Okay.
you just dial star USSD, you get a USSD code. You can easily convert your phone number into a blockchain address.
Okay.
So you don't need to remember 32 unreasonable.
that's
Digits and characters.
Yes, and then you can just use the phone number to send, like you send from Binance.
Mhm.
You just use your phone number to do that. We understand these problems, and then our system is also non-custodial. That means that you still can control the wallet. You can just take the wallet off our platform and go and use it anywhere you want to use it.
Right.
Yeah. So to get people really your feet wet into blockchain, I think you should take it slow. The learning curve is high.
It
If you
really is.
yeah, don't fall for this sort of get rich quick schemes and all those kind of stuff. It's not real. I'm just putting it out there because a lot of the MLM guys have invaded the crypto space and they are causing so much harm.
Where's
Multi-level marketing.
Okay.
They sort of
Pyramid scheme.
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, right.
Very
Got
good.
you.
Very pyramid scheme guys
Got
have
you.
invaded the
Got
blockchain
you.
space and they are causing a lot of havoc to people.
Mm.
So if you want to get, I can use 1 minute to introduce you to crypto.
Mhm.
In the sense of the traditional world, Binance make it easy. We are making it easier with CryptoMomo.
Yeah.
Yes, start with Binance,
Mhm.
create an account, start with us. create an account.
So the platform is called CryptoMomo.
Yes.
Is it available?
Currently we are not, because we are still in a boot camp. We are going through
so you're still
policy.
Are you testing?
Yeah, we are testing.
Can I want to be part of
So-
your test?
so we
how
can
do I
send
sign
you-
up to test?
As I sit here, it's not online, but I can
Okay.
send you the flyer. It's
Okay.
*928*170#. We've already acquired
Yeah,
it.
I've actually
Short
watched a few videos on it. It's quite impressive, and it's,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Charlie,
it's good. It's good. It's good.
collect
Yeah,
your
thank
two.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
I take my two.
And
I
This
take
is
my
even
two.
four.
speaking-
Take four.
I
Take
take
four.
my 4.
Take this blockchain.
I take it.
I mean, this is
and-
blockchain,
yeah.
right? This they follow this. So
Yeah.
If I lock so,
if I- so collect your blockchain.
Yeah.
but then
Now, okay,
I remember you did say Binance is sort of centralized.
Yeah.
So then, in that case, isn't there a way the government can force them to review
Exactly.
transactions in case
Exactly.
I'm being fraudulent in any sense?
Yeah, exactly. So I think there have been a few cases like that. However, when you come to hardcore guys like us who are sort of
You say like us. Referring to we three way there.
like who are sort of we are sort of anti-establishment. I'm not so much anti-establishment. I think regulations are important, but to a certain degree, yeah.
I think your problem is bureaucracy.
Yes, bureaucracy is so bad.
You are not mad at
No.
the establishment. You are mad at the processes in the
yes,
establishment.
the policies
Yeah.
We
being
then you
set
did
so
together.
far.
You did together.
Yeah. So if your information is on Binance, that's why I'm saying that Binance is just an interface between you and the actual blockchain, right?
Okay.
So you are giving your information to Binance because you trust Binance.
Basically, what you are building.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You trust Binance to be faithful to you, not to release your information to your government. However, it can happen
Right.
that the government will press them to release the information. But if you are using things like MetaMask, you don't need any ID. You can still interact with the blockchain. If you are using things like, I think Coinbase wallet, you can
And
still.
the difference between MetaMask and
So
Binance would be
the difference between MetaMask is that it's not controlled by anybody. The wallet is not controlled by anybody, but it's much higher. It's much difficult to manage. That's
in
it.
what sense?
In the sense of private keys management, because if someone has access to your private key, you are dead. Like he can whatever money in your account, he can take it.
You know about the guy that has hundreds of millions of dollars in a hard disk that had his crypto key in,
Yeah, and he lost it.
And you lost it, and that's
then
it.
Yeah, and that's it.
He's bought the entire landfill. He's been searching
Trying
for
to
it for
mine.
10 years.
Yeah.
And
I
he
heard
still
that
can't
story.
find it.
Yeah,
So he's like, there's nothing
it's
he
gone.
can do
It's
about
gone.
it.
It's gone.
God damn
Someone
it.
called me a few days ago and was like, "Oh, my wallet has my keys," and then I said, "But we are creating a service. Why don't you come to us? My keys are missing and I can't recover and blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, Charlie, okay." I helped him one way or the other. Scanning the
Ashe.
He had another wallet that he had. Fortunately for him, he had access to his passphrase. So there's passphrase, there's key, what do you call it? Your
Passkey.
pass keys. Not pass key per se, but you have keys.
Okay.
Apart from the passphrase, there's other things called a key. So you have to learn how to manage these things.
So where does the physical dongle come in?
As in,
Because some people
have
like
their
a physical
dongle.
those we call
USB.
them I think hard wallets.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think the guy that is searching for his money in
an
a
actual
landfill
key.
is a hard wallet.
Oh, okay.
So I think he was throwing trash out, and I think he accidentally threw out his hard disk that had his key
yeah,
or something
so,
like that.
yeah.
And had hundreds of millions.
And we also have these cold storage systems for
Right.
crypto as well. Yeah, some people don't want to keep their tokens online, so they try to push everything back down.
How has all of this disrupted the financial industry?
a lot? It's much more cheaper to make transactions with cryptocurrency. Much like 1 billion times cheaper.
But-
Imagine how much will it cost you to send, let's say, $10,000 to the United States, even if it's 3%.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a lot.
But you can transfer on Binance, which is one of the most expensive.
Right.
I'm just putting that in
Which one
quotes.
is it?
The least expensive ones are the ones MetaMask, Trust
MetaMask,
Wallet.
right.
But
Yeah.
it takes more effort to manage.
To manage,
right.
yeah.
So Binance, you can send $10,000 for $1. $1.
That's a transaction.
Yeah, that's a transaction fee. You are not paying if you are sending any amount of money on the blockchain. You are not paying more than the gas fees. So and the gas fee is like 0.0000 to the like the thousandth.
But how then? Because now,
And it's also it's instant. I shouldn't say use the word near instant. It's instant.
But I'm looking at investment.
Yeah.
Because with the bank, you have access to a bunch of investment options. How are you able to access stuff like that on the
In
blockchain
crypto,
or
there are
crypto?
a lot of investment schemes that you don't even have in your bank. You go to the bank, what are you doing? Buying bonds, treasury bills, what? Largely is based around these sort of things. But on crypto, I have a friend who is helping farmers finance their farm by tokenizing the farm for them. So he's running Institute Coffee. It's like going to the bank and say, I have a cocoa farm and I want to collateralize my cocoa farm, so that I give me some money to run the cocoa. Basically doing the same thing on the blockchain, but for coffee. And then you have a wider market. So I'm in Ghana, and then
I need to look into that. It sounds very interesting.
we call them decentralized finance. There are a whole lot of schemes in there, and then the rates are cheaper than you go for the bank.
The rates are what you mentioned to be the gas fees?
No, for investment, as he's talking about, there are different service providers, and they give you a rate. But largely, usually they are cheaper. You are in Ghana, how much are you paying? 30%, 35%. You go to the blockchain, you will get some for 5% per annum, 8% per annum.
But what's the difference between like stuff like that and trading? Because people, there's a linkage. There's a Venn diagram where like they cross at a point.
Yes. It's not just transactions. There's trading in there.
Yeah, there is trading. The trading is more of FX. The normal trading that people do, trading gold, trading oil.
But you can trade in crypto as well.
You can trade in crypto, yeah. So if you are good in trading gold, you'll be good in trading, crypto. The only thing is that it's more volatile. It's not like the normal market. The price is highly volatile.
And what would you say the variables are that makes it different from the normal markets?
One, volatility. It's quite an interesting thing. So you can make money in a second, you can lose everything in a second. It's quite volatile. But two,
what variables affect that market? Because I've lost some money before. I went in for a few weeks.
So
I
you're
realized
speaking out of pain.
Pain, bro.
How much have you lost?
It was a few hundred CDs, but it was worth the learning experience. I had to just back out real quick.
Yeah.
And have you been encouraged to try again since you lost?
I do know that I'll definitely go back, because then, like he said, it has a way of urging you on that you can make really good money on here, but you have to know what you're doing. That's why I'm asking, like, what affects the volatility on that market? What are the variables that cause these fluctuations?
So largely, we will say they are market forces, highly based on speculation. Some are let me just use the word speculation. So just as people speculate in the normal market, people also speculate in the blockchain, cryptocurrency market as well.
Okay.
Just as we have something we call whales in the trading environment. These are entities that have really big cash.
The big men.
They have big money, and they influence the environment a lot. And I don't think it's that different for the traditional trading, because I think the traditional trading too, they are really big fishes over there who influence the market. So it's purely speculation. Sometimes to these cases, related cases of pump and dump also happen. But however, if you are dealing in trading in crypto, you have to be, you should know what you are doing. You should know. A lot of people have been successful with it.
So I've heard.
But there are less risky stuff like hodling, where you buy the token and you can keep it for a very long time. And then there are, people also do copy trading. And I believe that is also on the traditional side in crypto too.
So in the last 10 minutes, right, you've mentioned so many things that have piqued my interest so much so that this episode is not enough. Because now I understand it to a very large extent that I really want to learn more.
Okay.
So I want to know, is CryptoMomo looking to put together maybe like short social media courses just to educate people to understand these things? Because I feel like when we do, a lot of people in the space, or even want to enter the space, or even people who run businesses, can understand the importance of as it were, adding fintech into their business models to maximize sales and all of that. Is that something you guys are looking at?
Yeah, that is something we are looking at. You can visit our website, CryptoMomo.Africa.
You can see it down here somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
CryptoMomo.Africa, and then you can join our wait list.
Okay.
Definitely, we have communities. In fact, I've helped save people money. They were invited to fraudulent. I'm like, just give me the contract address. Let me go and look at it. I just look at it and I know this is not going anywhere. Yeah. So,
but right now I can't join, but I will go the queue front.
Yeah, as we know, I'm personally
push
there.
me.
oh yeah.
push
No,
me.
I mean it's a whole community.
You
We
go
just
push
put
me, go
everybody
the
in.
queue front.
Yeah, it helped. And I mean, I think businesses should really look into it. Visa is looking into crypto.
Okay.
PayPal is looking into crypto. You should not be left out. Unfortunately, our governments are not helping us. Africans need to get into crypto. You should get into financial technology because, you get data. It's very important. If you are using products like Sumundi and then, you are using it to track your products, it means you are having a lot of data. You understand your customers. You know what they are buying at what times. You know how their behavior is. In fact, look at people like Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Amazon and you are buying a socks and you are seeing a shoe beside the socks, it's not random thinking.
Yeah.
It's
not
built on
just
data.
there for fun.
People also buy this with the socks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Related
Then they go
searches.
bundle them.
Yes.
Then they go bundle them.
Related searches.
So once you
That's
can
in
do
the
that,
chop money pass.
yeah. So once you can do that, once you can do that, it means that you are driving sales up.
Mm-hmm.
You make it easier for your customers to find your product. On their side, they are getting good customer service. You understand? And then you also get more revenue. You also, if you are using some of these financial tools, what it helps you to do is that you have remote insight into your business. For instance, I'm not in Ghana. I run a shop. It doesn't matter whether you are running as a SME or a big shop or you are the Malcolm or you are the mall, right? You are even you are outside Ghana, you can still see the financial transactions that are going in your business. You understand what your customers are doing, and you also understand what your own business is doing. Where are the pain points in my business? Why are we spending more? How can I cut it down? How can I improve the business? It's data. And this, you only get this when you are using this kind of fintech tools.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up. If you have any questions about how to set up, fintech capabilities and add it to the operations of your business, you can reach out to
Sarso.
SaaS, yeah.
Is there like an email or a contact or something that people can use?
Let's do Twitter because I spend most of my time on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's just X, nicex.com.
It's
right?
X, yeah.
Mhm.
For the
/
newbies, X.
And then you say Nartey Kodjo-Sarso, NartyKodsar.
All right. So that's a handle. Yeah, right. So I'm sure we'll put it down there somewhere. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I love talking tech, and I love it more when it is something I don't really understand. So I've learned a lot, and I really, really appreciate you joining us today.
So it's a pleasure.
And please come again. Let's
Because it seems there's more we need to know.
Yeah,
There's more we need
let's
to
do
know.
part
I need
two.
to cash out.
Yeah,
I
maybe
need
that
to
one we
cash
can
out,
do
bro.
like a live demo, bring like a machine.
Sure.
We'll do like a live demo and then understand. I really enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate you so much and everything you're doing to help the sector as well. And good luck on your when are you guys looking to launch?
Currently we'll be passed out by January, but we've already done testing in Nigeria. So currently we are test, and then you're also looking at policy, guys. So the policy is very important.
Congratulations,
Very,
you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Any final words?
No, man, it's basically what he's got going on is so good. So, like he said, hook us up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please do remember to subscribe to wherever you're listening or watching this podcast on, whether it's on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever platform you are on. My name is Tia, here with the man,
Ben.
Catch us next week on another exciting episode of Enabled by Tech. Peace.